Hey everyone, before we get into this story, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. What I'm about to tell you, it sounds crazy, but it really happened. This happened over 7 years ago and I've waited a long time to tell it. Honestly, it's one of those stories that sounds small on paper, but when you were in the moment, it felt enormous. I'm a 54-year-old woman now. I have a stable life, a career I'm proud of, a family I love, and I like to think I act right. But here's the thing. Back in the day, I was far from this polished adult version of myself. From around age 11 until my early 20s, I was feral. And I don't mean the cute kind of wild. I mean the kind of wild that gets you into situations people still tell stories about. Trouble seemed to follow me around like a shadow. I didn't have a criminal record, thank goodness, but let's just say I learned a lot about consequences, judgment, and survival the hard way. Now, fast forward to the day of my niece's high school graduation. It was one of those packed, chaotic events where you have to fight just to find a spot to stand, let alone park. I arrived early, scanning the parking lot like a hawk, and somehow, almost magically, I found it, the perfect spot. The end of the row spot. You know the one. No one can pull in front of you, no one can sneak in on the side. It's the little oasis of parking heaven, and that day, it felt like a personal victory of epic proportions. I parked my car, stepped out, and couldn't stop smiling. My car was my pride and joy, my first brand new car ever, and I had taken care of it like it was an extension of myself. Everything about that moment screamed, yes. This day is mine in small but meaningful ways. The ceremony started and I immersed myself in it, clapping and cheering for my niece. I was proud of her, of course, but there was also this quiet satisfaction in knowing I had won a tiny battle before the big one even began. I had found that perfect parking spot. The chaos around me felt muted because of this small, private victory. And that's when everything seemed perfect. Right before reality decided to crash into my little world. After the graduation ceremony, our family planned to head to a nearby restaurant to celebrate. I walked back to my car, still feeling the glow of that small victory I had scored earlier in the day. My mind was replaying the ceremony, my niece walking across the stage, everyone clapping, the proud smiles, the joy in the air. But the moment I approached my car, my heart sank. Something was wrong. Someone had pulled directly in front of my spot. At first I thought maybe they just parked carelessly. But then I saw it, their bumper was pressed right into mine. Not a little nudge, not a casual bump, a solid push. My brand new paid-off car, the first one I had ever bought with my own money, was dented. About 3 inches pushed into my bumper. My chest tightened, my stomach flipped, and for a second I couldn't even breathe. I stood there, staring at it, feeling something old and familiar stirring inside me. Pride, protectiveness, and a fury I hadn't felt in years. This wasn't just a car. It was my hard work, my careful planning, my responsibility. And someone had just violated that in the most careless way possible. I thought about calling the police, but it was a private lot and frankly they wouldn't do much. Then I remembered. Another graduation was scheduled right after ours at the same venue. Whoever owned this car could come back any minute and I'd miss them if I waited. Leaving a note seemed pointless too. Would anyone even call me? Would they care at all about the damage they caused? And then it hit me, the part of me I had buried, the part that had acted first and asked questions later. The feral part. It was awake. I felt it bubbling up, sharp and intense, whispering, "You don't have to wait. You can handle this your way." My hands trembled slightly as I clenched them, thinking of how carefully I had maintained my car, the countless times I'd polished it, cleaned it, protected it like a member of my family. And here was this stranger, unknowingly daring me to respond. I took a deep breath. My brain screamed, "Don't do anything crazy." But my gut, the old instincts honed from years of living fast and fearless, said otherwise. And in that moment I realized I was at a crossroads. I could either let it go, pretend nothing happened and move on, or I could act. Act fast. Act with no hesitation. And for the first time in decades, the old me was ready to come out. I did something that day I hadn't done in years. Something reckless. Something raw. Something feral. I reached for the pocket knife I always keep in my car. Not because I ever planned to use it, but just in case, as the saying goes. And now, in that chaotic parking lot, with my hands trembling and adrenaline surging, that just-in-case moment had arrived. I knelt down beside the offending car, heart hammering in my chest. I could hear the faint murmur of people leaving the venue, the distant honk of cars, and the rustle of footsteps around me. Felt like time slowed. I raised the knife, pierced the rubber and heard it. The hiss of air escaping, sharp and satisfying. One tire. Then another. A rear tire, then a front. Both gave way, the air escaping violently, echoing in the lot like a scream. It was messy. It was loud. And it was unapologetic. For a moment I just stared at what I'd done, hands shaking. My mind raced. Did I go too far? Will someone see me? Will this come back to bite me? But a fierce sense of relief mixed with satisfaction flooded through me. This was justice, raw and immediate. No police reports, no notes, no waiting for apologies that might never come. I closed the car door and stepped back, taking a deep, shuddering breath. The adrenaline still coursed through me. My chest felt heavy, my face hot, my heart pounding like a drum. The old me, the girl who lived fast, who didn't wait for the world to do right by her, had risen, if only for a few minutes, in all her intensity. And then, almost immediately, I felt a strange mix of exhilaration and fear. I drove off, keeping my eyes on the road but my mind replaying the scene over and over. Would there be witnesses? Would someone recognize me? Could I have gone too far? Arriving at the restaurant, I felt both relieved and tense. I tried to shake off the adrenaline as I met my family, laughed at their stories and shared in my niece's joy. But I couldn't stop thinking about my car. My beautiful, perfect car, and what had just happened in that parking lot. I walked back to check the bumper. I expected disaster. I braced myself for the worst. I approached my car, my stomach twisting, my hands slightly trembling. I expected the worst. A crumpled bumper, a scratch, maybe even more. My heart was still pounding from what I had done moments ago. I had acted on impulse, full feral mode, and now it was time to face the consequences. Or so I thought. I peered at the bumper, bracing myself. And then I blinked. Twice. Looked perfect. Christine. The bumper had somehow popped back into place as if nothing had ever happened. No dent. No scratch. Nothing. My jaw literally dropped. I stood there for a long, quiet minute, staring at it, utterly baffled. The chaos, the anger, the revenge I had exacted, it had been completely unnecessary. The universe, karma, or maybe just good car engineering had fixed it for me. I felt a strange mix of relief and awe. Relief that my car was unharmed, awe that life, in some mysterious way, had corrected itself. I had gone full tilt, ready to punish someone for what they did, only to realize that revenge wasn't needed at all. Nature, luck, or fate had done it better than I ever could. Standing there, I reflected on everything. Old instincts die hard, yes. Sometimes, that raw, impulsive part of ourselves will rise up in moments of anger or frustration. But sometimes stepping back or even unknowingly waiting shows us that we don't always need to act. Karma has its own timing. The universe has a way of balancing things out, even when we don't understand how. That day taught me something I'll never forget. The past may shape us, our instincts may surprise us, and our anger may push us to extremes. But sometimes, the world has already taken care of things for us. Sometimes the revenge we think we need isn't the real solution at all. I walked back to join my family, heart finally slowing, mind at peace and a quiet smile on my face. My niece's graduation had been perfect. And, strangely enough, so had my first real brush with adult karma. So there I was, standing in front of my car, completely baffled. My bumper looked perfect. No dent. No scratch. Nothing. All that anger, all that planning, all that adrenaline. And somehow the universe had already fixed it for me. That day taught me something I'll never forget. Old instincts die hard, yes, but sometimes you realize that revenge isn't necessary. Karma, fate, or maybe just good luck had my back. If you enjoyed this wild story, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next crazy moment from my life. And don't forget to like the video. Trust me, you're going to want to see what happens next. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes life fixes things in ways we never expect, even when we're ready to go full feral.